Hi guys! So this is Lynn with Littlefoot Nursery. I wanted to hop on and make a video, and I apologize that the video portion of this is probably not going to be super interesting because I actually changed baby Clara offline, off camera, and I really love her in this outfit and I'm not ready to change her out of it. So I apologize for that. But there's a reason why I wanted to include her in this video. I wanted to actually make a video about a topic that Katie from My Little World recently did on her channel, and I thought it was a really interesting topic. I have not yet addressed it on my own channel, and I would love to kind of expand on what she discussed. And so, yeah, definitely go check out her video. I'll link it below. But basically, the topic was around copying, kind of, have basically like copying other people's babies is basically the topic. Wow, there's like a lot to say about this topic. First of all, I haven't personally like had any experience of somebody copying one of my babies. I do, there was one lady who really fell in love with baby Clara, I think when I was showing her, and I think might have reached out to Melissa to see if Melissa could make her a similar one. And Melissa was pretty full with, she had a lot of things on her plate with kind of all the customs. I had her, that she had in the queue with me. And then also, I think she had like prototype opportunities as well. So, that didn't end up, becoming, a thing or an issue at all. But yeah, I wanted to just, kind of talk a little bit about this topic because, and I guess I'll talk about it as it relates to reborns and then also as it relates to silicones, because I do think that I view it a little bit different, in both of those situations. And so, okay, so with silicones, most of the time with a silicone edition, the silicone baby is coming direct from the artist, and that artist will have a certain painting style. You usually can customize what you would like your silicone baby to have. So, for example, if you want brown hair versus blonde hair, blue eyes versus green eyes, that sort of thing. You can pick like hair color. I know with Eleanor, who I have on long layaway, we have the option to either have her mouth with the little tongue or to have more of an open mouth. So those would just be some examples. But I obviously saw the prototype Eleanor at the doll show, adopted by my dolly friend Jenny, who I met at the show, and then I saw Little Lake Babies, her Eleanor that she has shown on her channel, and her Eleanor looks similar, but I think the tongue, I think Andrea made the tongue a little bit further back on those Eleanors. And then I just saw another Eleanor posted on Facebook, that it will be coming home to that mommy. And, so they all look like a little bit different, but, there are definitely some similarities too. And, for the most part, they pretty much look the same. I think the most recent Eleanor I saw, her hair was a little bit longer, but I think the hair color is the same. And I think there is, when you order a silicone baby, if you fall in love with the prototype and what the prototype looks like, that's totally up to the collector to make that decision of whether you would like the doll to resemble the prototype, what differences you would like, do you want a darker skin tone, that sort of thing. So I have like absolutely no issue with those babies looking alike, at all. I don't think it's copying. And, for example, with Isla and Aria, who are the Emery May and Melina sculpts, they're, I'm Asian, my daughter's Asian, and those are portrait babies after my daughter. All the babies pretty much look Asian. I mean, some of them, there's some differences in terms of the hairstyle, maybe the length of hair. Some of them have the ball jointed neck, like my two prototype babies, and some of them have the fixed neck. But but the babies really do look pretty similar across the edition for the most part, and I think that's fine. I kind of think that. So anyway, that's my kind of opinion as it relates to the silicone babies. I know that Gabigail, for Claire Taylor's edition of Gabigail, the babies looked There's definitely variation amongst the babies. So, my Noah is more of a biracial skin tone, and then there are some that have a lighter biracial skin tone, some that look Caucasian, some that look African American. So there's kind of a whole spectrum of skin tones, and so I think that it's and I don't think that that's really what we're talking about when we're talking about copying, because that's just kind of the normal course when you order a silicone baby, that some of them are going to end up looking alike. Like, I think a lot of the Lunas, for example, by Jenny Lee, a lot of them resemble each other. Super cute baby, by the way. So that's just kind of my thought with regards to the silicone babies, and they're all coming from the same artist too. And so it's not like one collector can claim, hey, you copied my baby, because it was all like really kind of part of that same edition, and it was a limited edition. Okay, so when it comes to reborns, I feel like the reason why we might view this a little bit differently is because when you get the kit, it is a blank vinyl sculpt that has no details, nothing. So it really feels like a blank canvas for the artist to really create something. And then with reborns, you see babies looking extremely different, with the same sculpt. So, like, I've seen Levi painted, gosh, so many different ways. Brown hair, one that, Erica's Lola May looks more Asian, for example. Some are boys, some are girls, and, sometimes the hair looks different. Some have painted hair. So you can just see so many different versions of Levi out there, for example. Clara looks very different from Inez's Stellan, for example. And so yeah, I think that what you'll end up finding with vinyl is the variety is greater in reborns versus in a silicone edition with all those babies coming from the same artist. It's a little bit more consistent and kind of designed that way, I think. I guess silicone blank kits that a reborn artist can paint, those can also, of course, look quite different as well. But there's just so fewer silicone painters and fewer blank kits that are sold, so it doesn't kind of feel like your baby is like showing up everywhere, I guess. All right, so I want to tell kind of the backstory on Clara for those of you guys who are not familiar, just in the light of like full transparency here, and hopefully hopefully I don't get any hate for this, but so basically Clara is kind of a copy of another baby that Melissa George painted. I know, shocking, right? Okay, so let me explain. And I think I did explain this on a older video when I was kind of talking about how I got Clara and stuff like that. I don't remember which video it was, but I'm pretty sure I brought it up at one point. Okay, so I had never heard of Melissa George, like as of several months ago. I had been away from doll collecting and the doll hobby and community for many, many years. I was just searching on eBay because I'd gotten bitten by the reborn bug. I think at that point I had Jenna and Connor, and those were the only two babies I had so far. But you know how when you start collecting and you get like super excited and you're just constantly on eBay and looking, browsing babies. So I decided to. So I found. I guess Melissa George's version of Levi looked very similar to Clara on eBay, and for a buy it now price. And I was like, oh my gosh, this baby, it has to be like the most gorgeous reborn I've ever seen. I was so taken with her. And she named her Clara in the listing and everything. So I clicked to purchase the baby. I was so excited. And Melissa, I know, I think watches my channel, so she may appreciate kind of this whole process. So basically I bought the baby. I tried to pay via PayPal. I usually use my credit card via PayPal, because why not? I get a 2% cash back. And then Melissa got like this error message from PayPal basically saying, hey, we're going to hold the funds for 30 days, and you're going to have to ship the baby first, send tracking, and then prove that the baby arrived and the buyer is happy before we're going to release the funds to you. Something to that effect. And it was going to be like a 30-day lag time. And she was super puzzled. I was really puzzled. I'd never seen that happen before because I'd purchased many other dolls, including I actually bought Jenna around the same time as Clara. It was actually like within a couple days of each other. And Jenna's artist, Gail, is in Australia. So, and I paid the exact same way. So I was totally dumbfounded. Like, I didn't get why we were having such trouble. So Melissa and I literally, we tried the transaction like 3 times, and we still came across the same message. And then, and this kept happening, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. And so finally, finally she, this is her livelihood. She had to sell the baby. She had to find another buyer. She relisted Clara version 1, and of course, boom, immediately sold, because why not, guys? Look how stunning she is. So I was so bummed. Just like I had just fallen in love with this baby. And I didn't ask Melissa to make me another one or anything like that. But she actually was so gracious, because we had by that point, I think, kind of bonded over this experience a little bit. So we started emailing each other, and she said, "I'm so sorry that you couldn't bring that baby home. I would love to offer to. I have another Levi kit. I would." Love to offer to paint you one similar to the one that you wanted, that you missed out on. And I was so grateful. I said, "Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Yes, absolutely." So I guess we did do it as a custom, and she really tried to replicate Clara close to the one that she painted previously. There are definitely some differences. Like when I look at the pictures side by side, there are subtle things here and there. Like if I put the 2 babies next to each other, I would definitely be able to tell them apart. So it's like they're kind of like identical twins, but kind of not too at the same time. So so anyway, so that's kind of what happened and how I ended up with Clara. And yes, there is another Clara out there, if the mommy didn't change her name, who looks very similar to my Clara. And I hope she, if she watches my channel and sees Clara, she doesn't get upset that I have a baby very similar to hers, because it wasn't like I saw her baby on another YouTube channel and then went to the artist and said, "Hey, I want like a carbon copy of that baby." I feel like that's a little different, because I don't know, it wasn't like I kind of sought it out, if you will. But Melissa offered, and I had, that baby was supposed to be mine. So it was very, very sweet and gracious of her to do that. And I'm extremely, extremely grateful. So so that's why I wanted to make this video with Clara, just to kind of talk about, I guess, my experience inadvertently copying. And I didn't really, it didn't really even dawn on me at the time, like, oh, I wonder if the person who bought the other baby would be upset knowing there's another version that's out that's kind of similar. And I think part of it is also the mommy who purchased her. It was not a custom, because Melissa had the kit. She reborn the kit the way that she wanted to reborn the kit. And it was her vision from the get-go. And the other lady, I'm assuming it's a lady, purchased the baby. But it wasn't like a custom where she's saying, "Hey, I want you to make a custom of that looks like my child, and I want to have a birthmark on, the left thigh, and I want to have like a stork bite right here on the forehead, and I want to have milk pimples, and I want to have this and that." It's not, it wasn't a custom. So I do agree that I feel like if somebody, does copy a custom, that's kind of annoying. And I can absolutely understand why someone would be upset about that, because especially feeling like, hey, I'm purchasing a piece of art and I do want it to be original. I want it to be special. I want it to be unique. And again, I do think that by virtue of the fact that the reborning process, having so many layers of paint, so many different details, no 2 babies can be alike. That's absolutely true. And, one thing, yeah, so I was just thinking about just kind of why do we, I guess what makes Reborns different than like the silicone edition, for example. And and I agree with a lot of the comments I think on Katie's video that I read about, yeah, we should really strive to, if you're going to be a YouTube channel creator, really strive to do your own thing, be yourself, have original content. I do think it's okay to, like, when you're requesting a custom, if you have kind of a vision of what you like that skin tone to look like, it's okay to sort of give, send a few pictures of examples. Like when I was having Natalie made, for example, I had a vision of like kind of more sparsely rooted, baby hair and for her, and I sent a few examples of photos that kind of reflected that, that Melissa could kind of use as a guide, for example. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that, for us, we should, and sometimes I don't think people do this intentionally, so, we should try to give, each other the benefit of the doubt that, maybe people didn't, maybe it was a new collector and she didn't know that it's a bit of a faux pas to say, hey, I want to copy that exact baby. But I guess I personally am trying to think like, if it were to happen to me and someone went to Melissa and said, hey, I really love, how you, I'll just take my good friend, good friend on YouTube, Miranda, who has expressed that she loves baby Natalie. So if she were to go to Melissa and say, hey, I would love for you to, paint me a Natalie, paint me a Lotus kit in kind of the same style that you did the one for Littlefoot Nursery, I'm sure Melissa, I'm sure it would come out different. And honestly, I'm trying to think about this. I don't think I would be like, I don't think it would bother me if, at all, like if it were, I probably wouldn't even like find out about it if it were a private collector who doesn't show her babies on camera. But I guess if it were somebody who also had a channel and, you know, bought that same baby and, kind of had it replicated to look exactly like my Natalie, and then decided they were gonna, and this sounds like kind of crazy, but and decided that they wanted to like replicate my collection in some way, like, oh, they wanted to buy a Connor, they wanted to buy a Saskia, and they wanted one, and tried to kind of do that. I mean, that would be kind of extreme, and I don't think that would ever happen because we all have our own tastes and preferences, and whatnot. But yeah, I guess that would be kind of annoying, but yeah, but I guess for me, I think that for me, what I enjoy watching, on people's YouTube channels, it's some of it is the dolls. Like if somebody has beautiful babies, I do enjoy watching beautiful babies get changed, outings, just showing off their details, things like that. Let me show you guys Clara's back of her head just because she's super cute. So that would be like, an example of, I think it's some of it's about the babies, but a lot of it is also about the collector and or artist or the channel creator, like me just enjoying them and their personality. And like Kimberly Cocoon said in her video recently, that she kind of enjoys just hearing about their lives. And so like I watch Crystal's videos from Life with Crystal, and she just kind of talks about like stuff going on in her life, and I enjoy that. It's just part of like kind of getting to know the person. And so I'll watch channels because of the person, sometimes because of the doll, but so I think that it would be impossible for somebody to replicate the way you do your YouTube channel, for example. And if somebody out there wanted to kind of have a, channel that also did a lot of discussion videos and chat videos, I would totally sub and watch, like, and I wouldn't be like, oh, you're totally copying me, because, you're filming this in front of your closet like I did, and you're filming it on a boppy. I mean, the boppy idea, I got this idea from watching other people's videos, and I was like, oh, that's a great way to like display your babies, and make it kind of displays them in a flattering angle versus if they were just flat on the floor, for example. So I don't think anyone patented, there's no like patent on like how we make our videos, but I'm like totally digressing from the subject of copying the actual Reborn dolls. I guess if you guys are watching this video and watch Katie's, and just know that people really don't like it. I don't know anyone who does like it. if you copy their baby exactly. But like, it's, but at the same time, there are going to be some babies that do resemble each other, especially if they come from the same artist. Each artist has their own painting style. Like, Stephanie from In Love with Reborns 2011, I can totally tell. I could pick her babies out of a room because she has such a unique style of painting. It's very distinct and very original. So I could totally pick her babies out of a room. And I think with my babies too, they're starting to, I have kind of a style emerging as well. Like I kind of like applying blushing a certain way or veining a certain way, and using certain colors in combination if I'm doing Caucasian skin tone. So, and I love painting hair a certain way. So I may, if somebody were to, for example, contact me and say, hey, I'd love for you to paint me a Saskia with brown hair and brown eyes, and it ended up being similar to the Saskia I just painted, it wouldn't be because I was trying to copy my work. It just may also be like I kind of have a certain painting style, and my babies are going to look a certain way, So I would love to, kind of develop more diversity and depth in painting styles. Like, for example, I'd love to be able to paint a baby with like Clara's skin tone, for example, this sort of like peaches and cream, but I don't know how to do that yet. I don't know like which colors I should use and things like that. So yeah, I would just be, just try not to, I guess, form a judgment, without kind of knowing the whole story, because somebody might, buy a baby from the same artist, same sculpt, and it may not be like they're asking the artist to duplicate your baby, but it may just kind of end up a little bit similar because the artist has a certain way of painting. Especially if the artist is more of a beginner like myself. So yeah, that's just kind of those are just my thoughts on the topic. Hopefully I had something kind of different to contribute and a different perspective. But yeah, I love discussion topics. And so, keep them coming, guys. And, anytime I make a discussion topic, feel free to do a tag if you'd like. Totally welcome to do that. Have no I really enjoy just hearing different people's thoughts about these dolls and these babies. That's like probably for me the most fun part of being part of the YouTube community, is getting to like express and share my thoughts, and also hear your thoughts and read your comments, and just have like healthy dialogue going. I think it helps for me keep the hobby exciting and engaging, this whole community aspect of it. And yeah, I hope it can stay a positive place for everyone. And yeah, and that we just, each day, life is short, as we're reminded with all the tragedies and natural disasters. Just enjoy your loved ones, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, enjoy your baby dolls and your hobby. And these dolls are so wonderful, if you're yeah, because they really are wonderful. They really do warm the heart. So, all right, guys, that's all I have to say for today. Thank you so much for watching. This was a fun topic, and yeah, feel free to, if Katie doesn't mind, please make sure you reference her original video from My Little World, if you do decide to kind of continue this discussion. And I think there were some other ladies who commented that they might want to make a video chatting about this as well, because I think it is an important topic to talk about. All right, guys, thanks so much. Hope you have an awesome day. Take care.